Welcome here into Teal, the show. All right, Jaguars coming off their first win. Frank Frangie hopped on a plane, went across the pond, left us behind, but me and Alessandra are going to get you ready for the Jaguars' next big game.
Yeah, Frank, come on. You couldn't take us with you?
You could have packed us in the luggage or something, but it's all right. The Jaguars' big trip, they're going to spend the next couple of weeks across the pond in London. First game, an early morning one for a lot of folks, a little bit of a strange Sunday as they get ready to take on the Chicago Bears. They're coming off a win. The team needs to get their second win. Now, Christian Kirk knows there's a lot of pressure to kind of try and get this thing rolling, but he says the team still has to focus on taking everything 1 week at a time.
You know, proud of what we did, but there's a lot of areas where we can get better. You know, there's still some areas that feel like, you know, could have resulted in the game going the other way. And, you know, we're critical of that and we understand that. But we're just getting 1 week better. And, you know, we can't get all 4 games that we dropped back and won. We got to take it 1 week at a time. And so it's just another week. You know, it's a big week because it's the next one. And, you know, we got a good team that we're playing over there in London. And so, you know, we're just focused on taking it 1 day at a time and just building on this momentum.
Look, there's no truer statement than that. They're in a hole, but they can't dig themselves out of it except by winning 1 game each week.
Yeah, you always hear every coach and player say 1-0 each week. That's their mentality going into London. A little bit different this year because the Jaguars get to stay in the same hotel. I think that's going to help them. They'll be in the same hotel at the Grove for 10 days straight, so against the Bears and against the Patriots. So I think that's going to help them as well. But you're going to have to play against the Bears, who has a better record right now than the Jaguars.
Yeah, Bears have gotten a little bit of momentum rolling, but you know what? The Jaguars are in a similar spot to what they were in when they went to London last year. Last year, they went to London with just 1 win. Came back after scoring a pair more. They had 3 wins when they came back to Jacksonville. This time, they're trying to do the exact same thing. It's a little bit later in the season, but you know what? Same kind of vibes. They go to London with just 1 win. If they can win a pair of games, all of a sudden, they come back to Jacksonville with 3 wins, and maybe the energy around the team's just a little bit different.
Yeah, I wrote an article earlier in the week, and I said the first line was, is history repeating itself? I hope so. Because like you've said, but it feels like the past 2 times they've gone to London, they weren't doing so well. They went overseas. Maybe it's, you know, we asked some of the players if they feel like this is like a team bonding moment. Josh Hines-Allen, he said, yeah, because when you're over there, you don't know anyone but yourselves, and there's not much to do unless you go into the city and explore. So this is kind of, you know, maybe a reset for them that they get to just focus on themselves, on the team. Not much of an outside noise over there in London for them.
Yeah, so this is going to be a little bit of a different kind of trip, as the team definitely does try and bond a little bit and get things rolling. Now, one of those bonding moments is definitely over some of the early season successes. One of those success stories has been the play of running back Tank Bigsby. He had a fantastic week against the Indianapolis Colts. Stiff arms left and right. He won the Angry Run of the Week from Good Morning Football. So definitely a lot for Tank Bigsby, a second-year guy that the Jaguars really needed to take a big step forward. And right now, they feel pretty good about where he's at. And, you know, they say to pack a running game when you go on the road. Well, now you've got Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne said earlier this week that the duo between the 2 of them is definitely going to mean good things for the Jaguars offense.
They've been very important. I feel like that's been a bright spot for the team, just week in and week out, just to go out there and have 2 guys. Whenever the second guy comes in, there's no drop off. And I feel like that's just going to help just continue to elevate our offense, you know, and kind of put pressure on the defensive coordinator because now you got to worry about both of us. There's no drop off. And it gets the other guys around us open, and I feel like we kind of have that. We're both great, so we both have different styles of running, so we complement each other, and I really love what Tank's been doing out there.
If the Jaguars can get Tank and Travis rolling, that's going to be a tough running game to stop.
Yeah, Christian Kirk said earlier in the week that when you can get that running game open, it opens just so much more, especially in the middle of the field for Trevor's trying to pass. So that has always been the emphasis for the Jaguars offense, is get that running game open, because if you can, everything else can line up. And we saw that against the Colts. You got Tank Bigsby running down the field, and you got Travis Etienne running down the field as well, and it was able to open up so much more. Christian Kirk caught passes. Brian Thomas Jr. saw his electric pass. So when you can get that started, I think you're going to have a really good day. And you just saw that Sunday against the Colts.
Maybe give the Jaguars fans a little bit of throwback vibes with a Maurice Jones-Drew and Fred Taylor combination, some things of Jaguars past. We'll see if the Jaguars can kind of get it rolling. We'll talk a little bit more about this matchup against the Bears coming up right after this quick break. All right, welcome back here into Teal, the show. We're getting ready for a interesting Sunday. The London games are always interesting because it means it's a much earlier morning. So kickoff for this game set for 9:30. So maybe move those Sunday schedules up just a little bit to catch this game. This one's going to be interesting. This is the first time that Jaguars fans get to watch the team compete against Caleb Williams.
Yeah, that's right. First overall draft pick from this past draft. Josh Hines-Allen was asked as a pass rusher, do you like to play against rookie quarterbacks? And he says, yeah, you do, because you can really kind of exploit that rookie mentality that he has. Now, he's been sacked 14 times to begin the season. The offensive line for the Bears got it together. I think, you know, when you have a rookie quarterback and you have an offensive line, you kind of have to mesh. We've seen that with Trevor Lawrence and, you know, with the new offensive line that they have now. You know, but Josh Hines-Allen says he's going to hope to get to Caleb Williams just as much as he was able, as the Bears opponents were at the beginning of the season.
Look, them getting the pass rush rolling is definitely a key to the success. Last week, part of that was Trayvon Walker got rolling. Maybe the best game of his career. 3 sacks, big-time game for Trayvon Walker. He needs to kind of start building off that. We talked to Josh, and Josh kind of said, look, he was feeling jealous. He had to play a little catch-up and loves to see the success from Trayvon, but he knows he needs to kind of do his part on the opposite end there as well. So the Jaguars pass rush has to get rolling. You got to impact those rookie quarterbacks. I think we've talked a little bit about the struggles of the Jaguars secondary so far this season. The best way you can help a secondary is by getting the pass rush going.
Oh, absolutely. You know, we can talk about the Bears offense, but the Bears defense, I think, is going to be the star of this game. And hopefully Trevor Lawrence, Tank Bigsby, Travis Etienne, and all the receivers can kind of exploit them. But that's a really good defense.
Yeah, look, the Bears defense has been playing well. Another defense that the Jaguars have kind of seen shades of. It's similar enough where they're a defense that does what they do and they do it very well. Same things they kind of said about the Colts defense just a week ago. There's not going to be a whole lot of surprises there. Now, the good news is this is another zone-based defense, and so far this season, Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr. have been spectacular against defenses that focus on playing a lot of zone coverage. We'll see if we can see another big play from BTJ this week. It feels like it's an every week kind of thing for seeing BTJ just running down the sideline and turning on the Jets, which is a good thing for Jaguars fans.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think what we've seen for Brian Thomas Jr., he doesn't have to completely beat the defense, but if it's just a hair, if he's just a hair in front of him, once he catches that ball, it's just too hard for anyone to catch up to him. Maybe it's because he's really young. Maybe it's just because he's a freak of nature as an athlete. But we've seen it doesn't need to be too much. It just needs to be a little bit, and then he's going to exploit you completely.
There's a saying, if he's even, he's leaving.
Oh.
There it is. If he's even, he's leaving. As soon as he caught that pass against the Colts, I was like, this guy's not going to catch him. BTJ is very fast. Right now, he has the fastest GPS speed in the NFL. He has been up in the upper, like the top 5 just about all season since week 1. So now he owns that record. He is the fastest player on GPS speed in the NFL, and he plays for the Jaguars. I don't know if I want to even try and dig through the record books to find out the last time the Jaguars had the fastest guy in the league, but he's here, and Jaguars fans, you should enjoy it.
Yeah, they clocked him at 22 miles per hour. Can you imagine? That's driving speed.
That's what you're going in a speed zone.
Literally 22 miles. It's
a school zone.
I cannot fathom someone going that fast.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's definitely rolling. If he's even, he's definitely leaving. So that's a good sign. All right, we've gotten to this point. It's time to kind of go ahead and just pick the game. Alessandra, this is always a tough part. We kind of do our picks online over on newsforjax.com, and right now, Alessandra and Justin Barney are worlds ahead of me.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, yep. So I'm playing a little bit of catch-up. But I said I wasn't going to pick the Jaguars until they won. They won last week, and so now that kind of took away that, even though I felt like they could win that game. The question for me this week is, do I think they can win 2 in a row? And I actually do. I think they're going to beat the Chicago Bears and get that second win of the year. So that is the good news for Jaguars fans. I think it's going to be a closer game than maybe people want to give it credit for, because these games always are kind of wonky. But I do think the Jaguars are going to walk out with the win.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the Jaguars are going to win. If you've seen what they've done in London, they've won a lot every time they go over there. I think it's going to continue. Also, you got to look. The Jaguars have played the most games overseas in London, I think, compared to any other team. And I think that's going to help them, because they kind of know what they're going into. They have the experience from last year, so I don't think it's going to be too much of a shell shock when you get over there. Obviously, you're going to have to get used to the time zone, everything like that. But I think they have prior experience they'll be able to use, and I think that's why they're going to win.
Yeah, we'll see. The Bears did get there before them this time, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Because of some flight delays and flight issues, but I think the Jaguars will win. Key, don't turn the ball over, since that Bears defense has been very opportunistic so far this season. And the other thing is just I think, honestly, the play of Andre Cisco and Antonio Johnson, it has to get better than what it's been this season. You're going against a rookie quarterback. You got the opportunity to confuse the sky a little bit. If Andre Cisco gets a turnover, Jaguars walk off with a win.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I was going to say definitely turnovers, but then also don't turn over the ball. That's good. I mean, but that's the game plan, I think, every week.
You can say that every week. You can say that about Get Football every single week. All right, that'll do it for us here on Teal the Show. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us, Alessandra, for tonight, and thank you at home for tuning in. Good night, everybody, and go Jags.